The theory of building the Pyramid of the Mind, Sculptural Shadows. Adel Obaid Hassan, an Egyptian contractor, previously owned a contracting company. During my search for the construction method, I discovered the following. Discover a passage leading to Khufu's hidden burial chamber. He discovered a lock that raised water and granite to the top of the plateau. 2 sunboats discovered at the top of the plateau. It was discovered that the number of stones in the Pyramid of Khufu is approximately 7 million blocks. The Pyramid of Menkare is the first pyramid to be built, and the Pyramid of Khufu is the most recent. The Pyramid of Khafre was built by 2 kings. I have 20 evidence of each discovery. The method of building the pyramid from the point of view of a contractor with experience in building and construction for more than 30 years. The tools used in building the Pyramid of Khufu are strong wood for the manufacture of shaddus and deerboxes, branches of trees and palm trees for the manufacture of rollers, ropes from the flax plant, copper metal for the manufacture of carving tools, chisels, punches, and gongs. Adopt every useful idea. Eaves from a simple factor. An old picture before the features of the plateau changed. Building the pyramids of Giza from the stones of the plateau itself, and not from another place. Limestone is abundantly available. The arrows indicate traces of cut stones in the form of rectangles and squares. Pyramid of Menkare the first, Khafre the second and fourth, Khufu the third. Scattered hills and hills with a height of -10 to 15 to 20 meters approximately. Traces of cutting stones north of the Pyramid of Khafre. Traces of cutting stones east of the Pyramid of Khufu. Traces of cutting stones north of the Pyramid of Khufu. Separate places above the plateau that were higher than now from 10 to 15 to 20 meters. Stones of 9 first terraces plus internal construction stones, and those stones are the largest and heaviest. They will be cut from the top of the surface of the plateau, and pulled on a downward road to the place of construction. The beginning of construction from the point of view of a contractor has experience in the field of building and construction for more than 40 years, clearing and leveling the floor of the pyramid. Through a basalt block that has teeth and scales like a file, it is pulled by workers. It weighs from 150 to 200 kg. Coarse sand plus water is poured to complete the process of leveling the floor of the pyramid. Workers to carve the floor of the pyramid. Workers to move the remains of the sculpture. Coarse sand and water for scouring and leveling the building floor. A roller made of strong tree branches and palm trees to pull blocks of stones and granite on it, separating. Cutting and installing the first slab, carving a 55 cm gap in the plateau rock, with the width of the carving worker. Traces of cutting huge stones north of the Pyramid of Khafre, and those stones are dedicated to the largest robbery in history, the robbery of the Pyramid of Khafre. 13. The method of cutting, pulling, polishing and installing the first slab of the Pyramid of Khufu through the dry box, which is a wooden machine that reduces the tensile strength and doubles the pulling force. And with the help of the shadow, the miracle of building the pyramid, as it is responsible for building 90% of the pyramid's mass. Separating, cutting and installing the first slab of the Pyramid of Khufu, which is an engineering miracle in itself. After installing the first slab, they are in the range of 27,000 blocks. I will not do anything and construction will stop until I bring the granite of the main room from Aswan, and it will continue to cut 400,000 huge blocks. They are 9 blocks of stones. The first terraces, and they are the largest. And the largest pyramid of Khufu. Khufu's burial chamber. It consists of approximately 200 blocks of granite. These stones were cut from a quarry in the Aswan desert, at a distance of 40 kilometers. And the custody is the responsibility of the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities. The theory is registered in the General Book Authority and has an international numbering for the year 2010 AD. Digging a channel from the last place where the flood reaches to the granite quarry. The width of the channel is 7 meters and the depth is 5 meters. The manufacture of 200 floats of wood hollow from the inside to transport the granite on it. Digging the canal inside the Aswan Desert to the granite quarry. Digging a small water channel 1 by 1 meter to serve the canal digging workers and granite cutting workers. Completion of excavation of the canal and entry of buoys to transport granite from the quarry. The buoy is strong, lightweight wood hollow from the inside. Length 5 meters, width 5 meters, height 4 meters. A way to lift the block above the buoy through the derailleur. After lifting the block above the buoy, it is pulled into the channel over a roller of strong tree branches. Another way to raise the mass above the buoy is to build a dry dock like the pits. I do not have any evidence of a dry dock, but this is my point of view for building the pyramid. By the way, I imagined that King Khufu asked me to build a pyramidal tomb for him as I am the owner of a contracting company. Method of lifting the block above the buoy. 24 Visualization of the method of opening the pelvic gate. 25 Method of lifting the block above the buoy. 26 Transporting granite blocks over the buoy through the channel. 27 Transporting granite blocks through the channel. The arrival of the granite burial chamber from Aswan. There is no source of water at the top of the plateau. So a huge water tank was established with a gate at the bottom of the plateau that can accommodate tens of thousands of cubic meters for use after the flood receded. The pyramid of Khafre was not completed due to the sudden death of its owner. The construction of locks to raise the granite blocks and raise the water to the top of the plateau approximately 25 meters high. That picture is very old. It was confirmed through those columns that this reservoir is located at the bottom of the plateau 30, closing the reservoir gate after the flood receded and retaining a huge amount of water to serve the construction workers throughout the months of the year. NB From my point of view, there are 20 evidence that the Pyramid of Menkare is the first giant pyramid that was built over the plateau. Khafre is the second pyramid, and Khufu is the third pyramid. The tombs of the angels are the first tombs above the plateau, and they have no connection to Khufu and Menkare. And they are 4 mastabas from the end of the 2nd dynasty and the beginning of the 3rd dynasty. And I have 20 evidence for that to throw in another video to complement the method of building the pyramid from the point of view of an Egyptian contractor with experience in building and construction for more than 40 years. Goodbye, and a new video to complement the method of building the pyramid from the point of view of an Egyptian contractor with 30 years of experience in the field of construction.